we have to discuss Newcastle because there's perceptions on stuff on what they're doing. Can you check where they are? Are they still third in the table?
I
now?
believe they're third up to today because Spurs lost.
Newcastle are third in the table. For context, when Eddie Howe came in, they were bottom of the table. We had this conversation, and you can ratify this for me. In terms of what they've spent,
less than Chelsea and United since Eddie Howe came in. They spent less than both of them.
Because I feel like the signings they've been making haven't been like blockbuster breakout.
I only say that to say, right? Because people are trying to discredit Eddie Howe's job and saying, look at the amount of money they spent. But they're spending like any other Premier League team.
Actually good coaching, I think, what he's done. And you look at the caliber of players. It's the caliber of players if Newcastle had just a little bit more extra money. Not the money they actually have. But Matt Target, Trippier.
They're not spending any more than Villa or Everton were the last few years.
The Isak one was like the big one. And the Bruno one was a big one. But that's okay. Now you've got the money.
Bruno was 40 million, bro.
But the thing is, those are young talents as well. They weren't like other big teams weren't willing to pay that money. So it's like they're willing to take that gamble. So for me, I think you have to give Eddie Howe the credit. And I was always looking at it like, Eddie Howe. I don't know, man. It ain't moving me.
Eddie Howe's a good coach.
But here's the thing. I'll give him his dues. He's actually a good coach, and I think he's shown it over time. I'm just always like, I know that's just a job waiting for Jose.
Nah, exactly, right? Because especially you look at that kind of money,
like,
right?
Just fast
it's like when City had Mark Hughes, right? It's like when City had Mark Hughes, bro, and like everyone you bring in that shit, bring in Pellegrini, bro. Mark Hughes.
I'm like, come on, man. Let's just fast forward this 2 years.
The Jersey one is so funny because obviously him and Sir Bobby have that.
Of course, come on, man. You can already see him outside the statue, like, finally, Sir Bobby, I'm here.
That was good, isn't it? Still, you're a good actor still. No, the reason I bring it up is because they're third. They're doing well. I think like today's W was like, again, it's not that it's Southampton, but it was like a statement, sort of like, we're not here to participate.
I am not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
January's coming. Again, it's just so mad. There's going to be a World Cup. They could go into this World Cup in the top 4.
Yep.
Talents are going to be performing at the World Cup.
Yeah.
They can take their pick of who they want.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't.
Newcastle are fast. They're fast tracking the process, bro. They are.
I'm telling you now.
Don't fall for them World Cup, man.
No,
them
bro.
7-game wonders.
Golovin.
Golovin, John Pancil. I've seen too many man.
Bro, I'm telling you, they can do their due diligence and be like,
who's that?
Maybe you go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
You take this one here.
100%.
But it's scary because, as we've mentioned before, they can learn the mistakes or mistakes of Chelsea and City, but they haven't really splashed the cash yet. That's the thing that's scary. They haven't splashed the cash yet. They've got a good base, and ultimately, the question I want to ask is, what is realistic for them? For me, it wouldn't be beyond me that they can win a Carabao or FA Cup. Definitely. Because that City and that team has needed a proper cup run, and I feel like they've got a team that's capable of doing it.
Yeah. And
like you said, with the top 4 conversations, if you look at the teams around them, they can be in that battle for as long as possible if they get the right recruits in January.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if they're in and amongst it by match week 33.
Think about it, right? Man City, it took them two seasons to get into the Champions League, and it was a weaker league in my opinion back then than when it was today. Like there was a team that was very evidently waiting to drop out for City to kind of take over.
Yeah.
If Newcastle, bro, within 12 to 18 months make it into this Champions League with these teams spending this money, boy,
I wouldn't be surprised by it. I think if you look at the top 4 race the past 3 or 4 seasons,
it's always been who's the least shit.
Who is the shittest and who can just get a little bit of consistency going to just pip it. So I've almost been waiting for like a team like Newcastle to emerge ahead, because Leicester have been the ultimate pretenders where they hold it for third and then they just drop out because they crumble. I think Newcastle has that little bit of rigidity about them and actually can play a bit of ball when they need to as well. As you said, I think January is going to be massive, because if they can add those 1 or 2 key pieces that just, I think if Isak comes back from injury as well, hits that gear that they need him to, they could be a serious team. But the problem with Newcastle, I feel like, is still ifs, ands, or buts type of thing. I'm still waiting for that, I don't know, one big move, one big game. Like, I haven't seen it yet, to be fair. Like, I've seen them scout City last year, I remember, but I don't know. It still hasn't hit me. Newcastle are here yet. Does that make sense?
I think it's because it's not in close proximity. I think that's why.
They just jumped.
City, Newcastle lost one game all year, bro.
Yeah, but
it was at Liverpool where they shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, but it's like it's like
I'm still not.
It's like when it's January now, and you're like, hold on, they're 10 points clear of us. Oh,
yeah,
you're like,
all right. Yeah, maybe it will come later.
When it's
in
in close proximity, it will come. But
fair play to them, man. They're doing their thing, bro.
They're doing their thing.
Here's the thing with Newcastle, right? We're all saying fair play. We're happy for you guys. Like brother, Newcastle, they got the trillionaires, bro. Eventually, they're gonna beat us, bro.
We did this with Leicester as well. First is
but Leicester were always cute. Leicester were always a cute story,
bro. Yeah, have some
hold up.
And then it's like, hey, what's the food, man?
Leicester was cool, right? Because they were always like, okay, it's just 1 year. The next year, everyone knew they were gonna fall off. Newcastle, bro, they got too much money to fail.
I'll be real with you, Leicester. I never thought they would fall off the way they did.
Not as much, but no one ever thought. But no one ever thought Leicester would be a consistent title challenger after the first year. I'm saying Newcastle, bro, are only going up. There's no way they can fail. It's too much money to fail.
Yeah. It's actually scary that there's too much money to fail. They could sign they could make. They're a club that can actually make world transfer record signings consecutively if they wanted to. That's scary.
The thing with them too, right, is because they didn't spend basically anything under Mike Ashley. There's no financial fair play. They got a lot of money to spend. Like, hey, man, that's scary, man. Scary hours.